this week's #Finance Friday, and July has been all about business process automation. And if you don't know what this is, make sure that you look back at our first week's video where we spoke in quite a lot of detail about what it is and why it would benefit you and how this links up to profitability and productivity, right? Because that's what we're all about here. So what I want to just chat about today is what impact COVID has on this whole concept of business process automation. Because as we've started working from home, we've had to look at new ways to develop our businesses to stay on par with what's happening in terms of technology and trends. So let's jump straight in. So COVID-19 really has pushed businesses to implement and improve automated processes. So it's forced us to start using tools that we didn't know existed. Like, think about how many of you actually used Zoom before COVID, right? And now that we are returning to new normal, thanks to our vaccine scientists, what tools are you going to keep using? So process automation is highly impactful as it enables data to be collected, analyzed, calculated, and possibly even submitted at a speed and scale far greater than what human teams could achieve. And that's the reason why a lot of organizations are turning to automation technology to transform their businesses. That should make sense, right? So it acts more as an assistant, allowing people to do their jobs faster, more thoroughly, and more accurately, which is great, right? And as a result, enables our workforce to be able to spend more time to focus on higher value work. So here are some impacts that we had as a result of COVID. So process automation is really an evolutionary step towards an even smarter, more productive, and innovative set of employees. So according to Deloitte, what they say is, firstly, 73% of organizations worldwide are now using automation technologies. That's a lot, 73%. So that could include robotics, machine learning, and natural language processing, most of which is just like a meow over my head, but it's up from 58% in 2019. So that's a significant increase in a very short space of time, okay? And then secondly, the proportion of organizations deploying automation at scale has tripled over the past 2 years. And lastly, 23% of workers have already seen a change to their roles and ways of working because of the implementation of intelligent automation, while 1 in 10 has had to retrain to be able to stay current. Like that is ridiculous. So Justin Watson, a partner and leader of Deloitte's robotic and cognitive automation process, sorry, lots of big words, he said, automation has been a lifeline for businesses during the pandemic, allowing for rapid increases in processing capacity, new processes to support the response, increasing productivity and accuracy, whilst also improving the experience of customers and employees. Like, that is a lot of good things that have come as a result of automation, right? Especially during the pandemic. I think as we've been working from home, sometimes we've sort of felt cut off from the rest of the world. And also we feel like, it's actually just so hard to still remain efficient. So we had to change how we work. So here are some apps or some categories of apps that have increased during the pandemic. Firstly, teleconferencing apps. Okay, so video conferencing apps, I think we are all familiar with these, from Zoom to Microsoft Teams, maybe not so much Skype, Google Meet, all of those, okay? They've allowed businesses to break down geological barriers and foster the ability to work and socialize relatively seamlessly. I think the increase of digital nomads has probably skyrocketed as a result of the use of teleconferencing apps, being able to work remotely from home now, and just being able to have a flexible work environment as a result of these apps have just tremendously changed the scope and the landscape of the world that we find ourselves in. Secondly, communication platforms for instant messaging. Well, so this could be something like Slack or WhatsApp, really, if you're wanting to use WhatsApp in the workplace. But this allows for quick communication as well as multiple chat rooms for each team or department. I know sometimes people find that they are receiving thousands of Microsoft Teams messages, plus hundreds of WhatsApp messages, plus emails, and plus Zoom meetings in between. It can become really overwhelming. But if we are able to use these things correctly and respectfully, it can help us to make sure that we are respecting our employees' work-life balance so that we are not logged in 24/7. Okay, using a designated communication platform that's not WhatsApp makes a big difference. Okay, so then you know that someone is only looking at that when they are online. And then thirdly, project management apps. So from your Asana to Monday.com to all sorts of different ones, which we have reviewed previously. It helps us to manage our schedules, meetings, and tasks in a seamless manner to make sure that your employees have been assigned to the right projects. Okay, and then lastly, health and safety measures. So I know that a lot of businesses have developed some sort of app to do their COVID check-in, or even just use something as simple as a Google form. But by making sure that those processes are in place and by making sure that the health check-in and the health and safety measures in general are abided by really helps to make sure that we are keeping within the compliance structure provided to us. Okay, so those are the 4 main categories in which we saw increases during the pandemic. Here at UPvisor, we use 3 very specific types of software as part of our, process automation process. And it includes things like Zoom, PowerBi, and Excel. You've heard me talk about these things before. So I want to just ask a couple of questions. Did you know you can make these tools work for you a little bit more if you just know where to find things? So here are a couple of things that I want to make sure that you know of when you're using Zoom. Firstly, did you know that you're able to automatically disable or enable your video and audio when you join the Zoom meeting? Just change your settings. Did you know that you're able to hold down your spacebar to temporarily unmute yourself instead of having to go and find the unmute button every time? Or the fact that you're able to use some existing keyboard shortcuts or even customize them, like Alt-A allows you to mute and unmute yourself. Did you know that you're able to automatically copy your invite URL when a meeting starts? Okay, so it goes onto your clipboard and then you can easily share it out as required. Hopefully by now you know that you're able to record your Zoom meeting. Did you know that you can record it to your cloud or either to your computer? Or maybe even did you know that you're able to hide people that are not on video? You can hide video participants, non-video participants. And you can even set reminders for upcoming calls so that there's a little pop-up that allows you to snooze or join or start the meeting. And you can even display your Zoom meeting on 2 screens if you have 2 screens. And you can do breakout rooms and you can change your Zoom background, just like I've got a little virtual background behind me. So you can load customized ones or you can load videos, like there's just so much fun stuff you can do with it. There are even some filters similar to Snapchat that are available on the newer versions of Zoom. So really there's just so much you can do. Okay, so that's the first one. The second one is some Power BI stuff that you can do. Okay, there is really a lot that we can do with Power BI. So I want to show you or give you some examples of how you could use Power BI. So if you are unfamiliar with Power BI, it is Microsoft's interactive data visualization and analytics tool for business intelligence, hence the BI, okay, business intelligence. You can use it to pull data from a really wide range of systems in the cloud and on-premises and create dashboards that track the metrics that you care about most, from financial to non-financial information, operational information, KPIs, budgets versus actuals, forecasts. There's so much. You can drill down into detail and you can literally ask questions about your data. So here are 7 things that you can do with Power BI. You can visualize the services you use. You can tell stories with your data. You can explore what-if scenarios. You can ask questions in real time. You can use custom visualizations, which are really cool. You can fit more data into executive dashboards, and Power BI is for IT data too. So really just a lot that you can do there. And then finally for Excel, okay? So Excel, as you know, Excel is my bread and butter. I love Excel. So whether it's looking at data entry and storage, or whether it's collecting and verifying your business data, to performing administrative and managerial duties with it, to using it for accounting and budgeting, or data analysis, or reporting and visualizations, or even forecasting, there's just so much that we can do. And obviously you would hopefully know by now that we we provide training in these options, okay? So, so make sure you check those out. If you need to know more about either Zoom, Power BI, or Excel, you know, the world is your oyster if you just know what is available. But you might find that actually, you know, it's just there's too much stuff and you don't have time to focus on all these things. So in that case, outsourcing is the solution. So entrepreneurs are constantly in a tug of war between time and money, you know, saving money by using your time to do things yourself, or otherwise make money by investing your time in income generation and outsourcing tasks. It's really hard to decide which ones we want to follow, right? So I want to introduce you to some of our services that we would be able to provide you that will do a really great job at helping you to set up processes to increase productivity and profitability in your business. So we are going to be doing firstly a feature on Hire a Chameleon in our hashtag Finance Friday videos coming up. So make sure that you're tuning in for that just to understand more about what it is and what it can offer to you. Then obviously, as I mentioned, our Excel training, you can find that on our website, as well as our Power BI training, which is available either in a recorded format or then doing it in person, which is also awesome. You know, you can customize it according to what you need to see. And then our little Zoom modules, okay? They are short and to the point. You do a couple of pre-recordings that you watch, and then you join us for a practical application session. Okay, so that is just a glimpse of some of the things that can help you with your process automation. There are a whole load of other services as well, from looking at Kissflow to Paper Trail to all sorts of other ones that I've never even heard of. You know, we'll provide a little list for you. You can go check it out. But there's just so much that you can do. So I really want to encourage you to find ways to automate your business and to save some time. So next week, I'm going to be discussing a few short, to the point, real life examples of how business process automation has helped businesses and how it is helping to make the world a better place. I think we can all do with a little bit of inspiration along the lines or along the way. So make sure that you tune in for that one next week, same time, same place. You know it. I'll see you then. Bye.